And we're live. Welcome everybody. Welcome back to the Come Cook With Me show. And my name is Laura Hall. I first want to start off with saying I am so thrilled to have you guys joining us today. I missed you last week and I thank you all for your grace, for understanding with my daughter's birthday and getting together with a family reunion. We weren't all together last week. So let me just go ahead and get started. If this is your first time that you've actually seen one of our live cooking shows, let's just set the groundwork to kind of make it really easy and comfortable. If you're new, what you would like to do, what we all love to do in this community is to say hello, who you are, where you're from, and when you do that, we actually have some really fun, yummy surprises that you get to be enrolled to try to win. Thank you for the love. Thanks for the likes. I'd love to see that you're live and coming to me. I just can't even see. I just set the box up, set the camera up. Hey, Jennifer, great to see you. Hey, Eleanor, great to see you. Waving at ya. Okay, so what I love to do is, our community is just so incredible. We've been live for the last year and now I think a couple of months, right? It's just crazy how awesome this show has been and how many people keep coming back, and so I'm very blessed. And last week's show, my goodness, we had over 13,000 people who viewed the show, so we were very, very fortunate, very lucky, because you know, Facebook doesn't always share the video. So one of the things that we love to do in our community to spread the word of this particular show is you hit that little share button that says share, and you share it on your Facebook wall. And when you do that, I always do some giveaways. So this next week, so if you hit that share button right now, you're going to be entered to win an Instapot. Next week is the Instapot giveaway. So the whole month of June we've been doing, I know, right? I know, you're excited. The whole month of June we've been doing these incredible spring to summer, getting ready for summer, really incredible recipes with Zoodles. So I just think you're going to love them. So let's go ahead and get started. If you've been following me, you know that we love to cook together. And I know that I didn't post the ingredients because I was traveling this week, and I usually come shop. We shop on Wednesdays, and you see me in the grocery store, and you get to see the ingredients so that you're able to cook with me. So if you didn't get a chance to do that this week, no worries. Just watch the show today. Get the ingredients if you're like inspired by this recipe, which I think you will. We are going to be making a chicken bruschetta in the Instapot, and we also have been doing it in the slow cooker. So if you're new to the show, one of the things that we love to do is, I grew up in, you know, my children grew up with crock pot recipes, because we would, my girlfriends and I would go out for our run in the morning. Most of us were either teachers or volunteers at the school, and we all talk about what are you putting in the crock pot today and making our recipes. So we throw it in the crock pot, slow cooker, crock pot, whichever one you had. And then when you got home from school, and you'd be doing your homework, and you'd have a great meal. Well, this show also has explored this incredible, wonderful, wonderful new gadget that's for the kitchen. And it has taken the world by a storm, and it's the Instapot. It could be called a pressure cooker. You might have grown up with, a lot of you who are older like myself may have had a mom that had a pressure cooker, or maybe your grandmother had a pressure cooker. Well, this Instapot is actually a safer version of that. And it's just the most, I find it's one of the most, I don't know, it's one of the best gadgets. I think that if you don't have one, it's time to get one. And it's one of the best gadgets I think you can have in your house, because no matter what it is that you're cooking, let's say a recipe may take 4, maybe 8 hours, maybe even longer if you're making a sauce. This can take 40 minutes. It could take even less. And in this recipe, the one that we're cooking today, 5 minutes once it pressurizes. Crazy, crazy. It's so awesome. So let's go ahead and get started cooking. I'm going to show you what the recipe actually looks like here, but let's go ahead and get the saute feature started, because we're going to do a little bit of sauteing on the Instapot first. So you want to get your Instapot started. I'm going to hit start and get it to saute. Saute. Start. So it's heating up. We'll go ahead and let it heat up. Hey Judy, I know, don't you love yours? I love mine too. I just absolutely love it. It's one of the best gadgets I think I could ever have found. So we're getting it started. I'm trying to keep it in the good viewing area that you can see. All right, so for the last, let's see, 3 hours, we've been having the slow cooker. I'm gonna go ahead and lift the top off so you can see it. We've had the slow cooker cooking this recipe. And I know in some of the instructions, so you're gonna say, oh, I don't see the recipe. Well, actually, in the post that's up above, you'll actually see the recipe. And I need to make a modification to it because when I came out and lifted the lid to this before I was getting the camera set up, I lifted the lid and I'll show it to you. It's a little more, it's more juicy than I had expected as it's been slow cooking, but it does look beautiful. So when I actually serve this particular one, I'm gonna really use a slotted spoon to take some of the juices out. Now, because it still has about an hour to cook, I can also pour off some of these juices. So I'm gonna use a little less liquid when we do it in the Instant Pot, just so you can see. But let me show you what it looks like. It's so amazing. And if you had smell-o-vision, trust me, you definitely want it. So here we go. That's what it's looking like. It's got about another hour to cook here. So we'll go ahead and put that top back on. It's so yummy. And I'm gonna talk about some optional ingredients because a lot of you who follow me are vegetarian. A lot of you are vegan, and a lot of you are dairy-free, gluten-free. So I'm gonna show you lots of options. I really like to do that. In all of my recipes, everything is optional. But what I love is like the incredible spices that can come together that really make the recipe what it is. So this is sauteing, and this is getting nice and warm. And it says it's preheating. It's just about ready. So we're gonna get started. Now, again, I'm gonna say, if you're new to the show, make sure you're saying hello, who you are, where you're from, and those of you who've been on the show many times, please go ahead and encourage everyone and say welcome. And today, if this is it, you wanna hit the first time, it doesn't matter if it's your first time, second time, third time, you better hit that share button because next week, if you hit that share button, you're entered to win a new Instant Pot. Yeah, a new Instant Pot. That's what it is. We're ending the Zoodle month with Instant Pot giveaway. All right, so we've got that sauteing. We're going to saute in. You can use your choice of oil, but because it's a bruschetta, it's kind of an Italian meal, you can use an avocado oil. I'm going to use an extra virgin olive oil because I just love the rich flavor of it. So I'll show you the one that I have. And I always, always, always love to cook with, so I'm just using this particular extra virgin olive oil, but take a look. One of the things that I love and I always look for is so important. Let me get that symbol really quick. See that right there? It says non-GMO. It's really a tiny print, but you can see it. It says non-GMO. So what that is that that's non-genetically modified organism. We want organic, we want non-GMO. We don't want to have toxins coming into our body. And you know me, I'm a health and wellness coach, and we want to cook with as few, organic. We always want to do organic and as few, no MSG, no genetically modified organisms, the freshest, the better. I mean, that's what you're looking for. So you're going to do about 1/4 cup in the bottom of your Instant Pot. And then I'm going to take my onion and my garlic. I've diced up an onion. Half of an onion, there we go. It's an organic onion, it's ready to go. I've diced that up, so we'll go ahead and add that to the pot. And I have, because we love spice, we love flavor, I put in, there's about 15 cloves, but what I actually have in this cup is just a little bit more than 15 cloves, but that's roasted garlic, organic garlic, and so I'm gonna go ahead and pop that in. I've diced it up. So yummy. Stir that a little bit around. And then I've got just 3 of these baby peppers. Let me show them to you. I'll just show you what I have. I have some organic little teeny peppers. They're so yummy. So I've got an orange, a red, and a yellow that have been diced. I've only used just a smidgen. You don't need a whole bunch for this particular recipe because it's really about, bruschetta is really about your basil, your fresh tomato. So you don't want to have too many other ingredients that are going to cloud what the recipe calls for, or the flavors that come together. I just saw somebody. Hey Laura, hey, great to see you. Miss you guys. All right, that's cooking up nicely. And then I've got some fresh oregano. I've snipped it. Remember, one of the things that we do is if you snip your fresh herbs, snip it and keep it in the container, or better yet, snip it while it's getting prepared. So much better. So I've got about a half a cup of basil, and I've got some oregano leaves in here. So we're going to add those in. Okay, so now I'm going to be using, you can choose your tomato. I'm going to give you a wide variety. Obviously, if you can use fresh tomato, that's even best. But I want to give you some variety of things to do. And I'm going to use a little bit of mixture of both for this particular recipe. So what I do is I bought the diced organic fire roasted Mirror Blend. Now I love this particular brand, and here's the reason why. I love it because it's organic, number one, but they are certified non-GMO. So you have USDA over here, certified non-GMO. Love, love, love. And let's take a look. This is one of the most important things when you buy something that's in a can. Right there. Non-PBA. So what is PBA? Well, PBA is bisphenol A. And this is getting hot, so I'm going to add in these diced tomatoes. I've drained the liquid off of these diced tomatoes from the can. And we're just going to let that saute. And we're going to add a little bit of spice to it. And I'll talk about the bisphenol A in just one second. I just want to get this rocking and rolling here since we are sauteing. Okay. Oh, gosh, that basil is smelling so yummy. So we're going to use about, in this particular recipe, we're going to go ahead and add our spices just so that they blend well together. We're going to do a balsamic vinaigrette. Okay. And we're going to use about, because I want to use less liquid, I'm only going to put in 2 tablespoons. Because I really want to have less liquid in this one. I learned from the crock pot, my recipe just was a little bit more liquidy than I want. I really don't want that much liquid because bruschetta shouldn't be. Oh gosh. I honestly, if you could smell what this is starting to smell like, it's just incredible. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so now we're going to add in just about the same amount. So I'll get we're going to add in just a little bit of red wine, red cooking wine. I don't throw away my wine. I might not drink it after it's a couple weeks old. I don't throw it away because it's really great for cooking. So I'm adding in the same amount of red wine. This one was a particular Pinot Noir, but it really doesn't matter. You're just going for a little bit of red grape flavor. It's going to make it all just beautiful. And I'm going to add in about a cup of these mushrooms. And I've gone ahead and diced them. Now, I will tell you, if you don't have fresh mushrooms lying around your home or in your farmer's market versus going to the store and buying the ones from the store-bought, such a world of difference. If you have fresh from your farmer's market, it's just going to be, oh, so flavorful. So we're going to let those saute just a little bit more. I'm really looking for the onion to cook down and blend well. And we're going to go ahead and add in our spices. We don't have very many spices. This is one of those recipes that, normally if you've followed me, I cook with a lot of seasoning. And I just love how some spices blend together. But this one is really a basic one. So with the fresh oregano and the fresh basil, you're not really needing very much more. So let's talk about what we are going to add. We're going to add some crushed red pepper. Again, it's organic. It's non-GMO. We're always looking for non-GMO, no MSG added, nothing added, no additional sodium. So we're adding a little bit of that. We're going to add some Pink Himalayan salt, like that. And I'm just going to grind that in. And some black pepper. Oh, that's just beautiful. I wish you could smell that. And then we're going to add one of my favorite spices, a little bit of ground cumin. And the saute feature is nearly finished, so what I'm going to do is just let that go about 2 more minutes, the most. These spices added in. And we're going to use some Italian seasoning. Now, I usually love the Japanese 7 spices, but this one, I just want to use really the Italian seasoning. And then we're going to add in our fave, our Dano spices. Now, when you say hello, who you are, and where you're from, that's all you have to do. And in our community, that's what we love. When you say something like that, just to welcome each other, you get entered to win. I'm adding in both flavors of our Dano spices, and I'll show them to you in a second. Okay, perfect. And I know a lot of you are saying, you're not measuring, Laura, you're not measuring. What's going on? I don't measure. I just look at what it looks like, and I know that that's, you know, how it's gonna, what it's gonna taste like, and you know, that's just the kind of cook that I am. But I do have the correct measures. If you're like have to have those measures, I have that. So I'm going to hit the cancel because it's sauteed as much as I want it to saute. So while it's just cooling down here a little bit, I'm going to talk about the Dano spices because I just absolutely love these, and this is what you get entered to win. Not the great big ones. These are ones that you can actually order online from Dan himself, from his website. But just to share with you, Dan Oliver, he's a teammate of mine, right? He's in my health and wellness team. Getting his healthy on, being in his best life. And he's created these spices. They're Kentucky proud, so I'll go ahead and show you that. He's from Kentucky, obviously, Kentucky proud. And he's developed these incredible spices. And so what they are, we have a savory spice, which has the green, and we have a little bit of a little spicier spice. Not as savory, just a little bit more hint of spice in it, more pepper. And what I love about them is that they're all low sodium, no sugar, they're gluten-free, no MSG, and no GMO. You were looking for the spices on Amazon. You're not going to find them, Judy. Thanks. I'm glad you asked that. No, you're not going to find these. I'll have Dano or whoever's watching go ahead and grab his website and put it in the comment thread. And if it's not there by the end of the day or tomorrow morning when I post the pictures of the meal, I'll go ahead and add his website on, but normally somebody goes ahead and beats me to it. I see there's some more questions. Hey Sandra, you're brave cooking in white. No, because you know what? It's all staying right here. It's all good. All right, so these are incredible spices. When you say hi, who you are, where you're from, you get a chance to win, right? Thanks, Judy. Yeah, you're welcome. All right, you're driving through Louisiana. Ooh, that's gonna be close to, oh, I can't talk about that in just a minute. I have to find out if I'm even allowed to talk about it, but I'll be there in a second. Okay, so 2 weeks ago, we had a brand new person. This is the random generator winner who won the spices, and I get to share that with you now. Okay, and I don't know if I'm gonna say this correct, so Deborah, I'm gonna send you the message. Deborah, Brandon Meyer, you won. You won the spices. So I'm going to be sending those spices to you. I'll send you a message, and you won the spices. So all you have to do is say hello, who you are, where you're from, and you get a chance to win the spices. So yummy. Okay, so we're ready to go with the rest of the recipe. It's so simple. All right. So what we're going to do is, and this is the alternate. This is how I changed up the recipe a little bit. Hey Tim, great to see you. Hope you're doing well and the weather is good up there in Minnesota. All right, so I use a little bit of bone broth, but if you're sticking with the vegetarian and the vegan side, you're going to use a vegetable broth. The one that I wanted to use was not at the grocery store today, so I found an alternative. So for vegetable broth, I would have picked the Green Wise. Again, I want to try to pick something that's organic, and Green Wise from Publix is an organic one. And you're going to use, I think I have 8 ounces. I only want you to put in 4 ounces of no matter which one you're going to use. But because I'm actually going to be cooking with chicken broth, I'm going to go ahead and use my bone broth. Bone broth, for me, is one of those, when I'm making a meal that is going to incorporate some meat, I'm going to use a bone broth because bone broth is so good for your gut health. So I pick a low sodium bone broth. This isn't my go-to favorite one, but again, since I've started this show, and particularly every grocery store that's in my vicinity, my bone broth is off the shelf. So I've got to either talk to Publix and say, you got to add more bone broth because like people are starting to like use it all and I never get enough. Or do like my girlfriend said, Barbara said, you know, I buy mine by the case online and maybe I should do that as well. So the Pacific brand is one of my favorites and I actually didn't have any of that in. But Imagine is just another good one that I use. It's a nice bone broth. This is a chicken bone broth. So I'm going to use about 4 ounces in here. So I'm going to add 4 ounces. So I don't want as much liquid, so I'm reducing the liquid, and I'll make the correction in the recipe at the end of the show. All right, so we have got all of those yummy things in there, and what we're going to do is talk about the chicken. Oh no, you know what I didn't do is I didn't talk about the BPA. This is an important piece. So canned goods, and because we were sauteing, I didn't want to lose the sauteing opportunity. So canned goods, this is the non-PBA bisphenol A. You want to take a look at, hey Catherine, I thought the same thing when I saw Laura in her gorgeous white blouse. Thank you. Okay, so no, I'm going to be fine, guys. It's all good. But bisphenol A, this is an important thing. You want to buy any canned good without the bisphenol A can lining. So for years and years, companies have been putting together canned products that have a bisphenol A lining in them. Well, what they are is they're a carcinogen and they're an endocrine disruptor. So you don't want to be getting endocrine disruptors into your family's life, into their bodies, and into their health. You want to take a look at the kind of products that you're actually buying. And so getting canned goods that have none of that lining, so important. Okay. All right, so now I've diced up some beautiful tomatoes that are, actually there's some heirloom in here. There's just some regular grape tomatoes. I've gone ahead and diced them up. I've kind of got them like in half to quarter, depending on how big they were. And there's about a half a cup here, and I've saved an extra half a cup. Oop, I'm getting a message. I know some of you, hold on, I just have to hit down on that. My storage is low on my phone. My husband's like, you got to get some of those videos off your phone. So I do need to. So I've saved a half a cup for when I actually serve this particular recipe, when I actually serve it. So now we're ready to go with our chicken. And what I've done is I'm going to go ahead and show it to you. Let me set this to the side. I've taken some chicken breasts, and they were buy one, get one free. So you can do it with cutlets, but since it was buy one, get one free, I really wanted to take advantage of, you know, free's free. So they're free range also. They're organic, they're no antibiotics. You want to always get those kind of products that they're not treated with hormones, there's no antibiotics in them, really free range. And if you actually have a butcher that's in your town, community, you know, all the more, that much better. But what I've done is I've sliced them in half, so we have some cutlets. And I've gone ahead and seasoned them beautifully. So I'll just show you how thin they are. There you go. And I've got them really thin, and I've got them seasoned, and I've talked about how to go about doing that. So I'm just going to add those right here in the top of our mixture. Oh, smells so good. And that was just 2 chicken breasts, believe it or not. And that's how I just sliced them. Go on ahead and touch that chicken, so I'm going to get my hands really clean. Okay, beautiful. This recipe is just so simple and so easy. All right, and now it's time to go ahead and put the top on. I'm loving how it's looking. We're going to go ahead and seal it with the Instapot top. So let's talk about it. If this is the first time you've ever used your Instapot, you want to make sure that your dial is down, that it can pop up, and that the pressure, so I'm going to show it to you right there, that's your pressure valve. And you want to make sure that the steam is in the off mode so that it can lock in and seal. And with this particular Instapot, all you have to do is shut the lid, turn it, and you're done. Now we need to put it on the setting. So we're going to actually do the manual setting because you only need 5 minutes for this recipe. Dial that in, and I want to pressure, and then I'm going to hit 5 minutes. Dial that down to 5. Okay. There we go. I went back too far. Okay, so I've got it set for 5. And I'm going to go ahead and hit start. So right now it's going to build pressure. And as soon as it's done building up the pressure, the 5 minutes will kick in. I'll take a picture of it just so you see what happens. And I'll also show you how the top pops, that pressure valve pops up, so you know it's under pressure. And that's really what you're looking for to make sure. If yours doesn't create a seal, I'll work with you on that on my other page. I'll show you how to make sure that you can get that done. Most of the time it's because you just really need to clean out your seals and make sure that they're all nice and well lubricated too. Okay, so when this is finished, both of these, what we're going to do is we're going to add in a really neat, wonderful ingredient. It's going to blow your mind. Ready for it? Okay. So normally I would be making this, but I didn't see any of the cauliflower that I loved, but I found in Alexia mashed cauliflower. So we're going to add in a 1/4 cup of mashed cauliflower. So I've got it ready. And this is what it looks like. I'm gonna actually, there's a little juicy, but I'm gonna squeeze some of the juice out because this was, I got a frozen one. So this is a 1/2 cup completely. So we're gonna use half of it into the crock pot and half into the Instapot when it's done. So we're gonna do a quick release. When time is up, we're gonna do a quick release of letting the pressure off. I'm going to open the lid, add in the remaining ingredients, which, again, your choice, but it's going to be the mashed cauliflower. And then I've got some Parmesan cheese that I'm going to grate up, and I'll show you. I'll go ahead and grate it in here. But if you don't want to have Parmesan cheese, and you don't want to use a thinly sliced mozzarella, you can use the vegans. And so these are the ones that I love. This is a Go Veggie mozzarella cheese. It's one of my favorites. And then there's a dairy-free Parmesan. Both of them are absolutely wonderful. Oh, Laura, yeah, Brad said that there was a bad storm there. Okay. And then finally, you're gonna zoodle up your noodles. You're gonna zoodle them up. So I used zucchini today and I used beets. I'll show you what they look like. So I went ahead and I got 2 beets here that have been on my zoodle and on my little noodler. And then I've got, I made 2 different sizes. I made thin slice zucchini and I made more of a thicker slice. So I just want to have a wide variety. And as soon as this is done, when I release the pressure, I'm going to add them in. And I'm going to add in the extra cauliflower, and then it's going to be piping hot. And then when I actually serve it on top, you'll see that I'm going to add a little bit of extra the basil. I'll add some basil, extra strips of basil, and some of the fresh tomatoes. So it'll be a little bit of added on top, and then I'll put a little of those mozzarella and the cheese on top of that. And that's it. That's how simple it is. It's a fabulous recipe. Now remember, if you're cooking with me, use half the amount of liquid that's actually in that recipe, just like we did today. And let's go ahead and finish up the show and share with you who last week's big winner was. Okay, so remember I said in the beginning of the show that if you share the show on your Facebook wall, you get entered to win the grand prize for the week. Well, I wanted it to be an Instapot this week, but I thought, you know what? June was our Zoodle month, so why not end it with an Instapot giveaway. So next Friday rather, is the last week of June. So we'll do the giveaway of the Instapot of today's show. So it'll be next week. But this week, we have a great surprise. Excuse me. We have a great surprise, and that is our new it's our raspberry cheesecake. It's our seasonal shake that was just released this last Tuesday. So we have actually a lucky winner for that. And we're going to pull that person out of the hat. that I created. So all of the people who shared last week, I think we had, I don't know, about, well, some people shared in many different places, but lots of shares from 2 weeks ago. So let's go ahead and see who the winner is. I'm just gonna keep it out here. See, I got the names, sorry. There we go. Okay, let's see who it was. Drum roll. Okay. Ooh. Paula Gunter. Paula, you won. Oh gosh, so exciting, Paula. I think you were the first time enter. I don't remember if you've shared this before. Congratulations. So thank you everyone for joining the show. As always, I will take pictures as we go and prepare the rest of it so you can see what it's gonna look like. This is just about ready. It's building up pressure, so I'll be able to take a picture of it and kind of show you as it's progressing. And then of course, when we played it tonight with our guests, you'll get to see it. The other thing I'm gonna do is serve this with a nice salad and a little crusty little bit of bread on the side for those of you who want to have a little bit of bread on the side. But that's our show, and thank you so much for joining us. It's so great to be back. And I guess I can say that it's official. I didn't hear from Brad, and I'm supposed to, we had a conversation this morning. He says, well, Laura, you know, do you want to share with everybody the news? So I guess I'll go ahead and share, because those of you who are in my community will see that Monday, a new sign goes up, and that new sign is going to go out in the front yard. And that sign is that we're moving. So we're gonna stay here and do the show. I told my sister about it today, and she says, Laura, what's that gonna do to your cooking show? We don't wanna lose your cooking show. And I said, Lynn, we could do the show everywhere we want. So I've cooked anywhere remotely. And so we're gonna be here doing the show until we actually move, but you'll get to hear the updates of everything starting. So yeah, Brad has accepted a position in Mobile, Alabama. So we'll be kind of going to the Gulf Shores, and the house is going on the market. So those of you who are local in this community want to see the house, you'll be able to have a chance to do that. It's going up on the market, and we'll be headed to Gulf Shores over in Mobile. So I'm very, very, very excited. We're very happy about the opportunity. So it'll be a new kitchen eventually, and we'll keep you posted on what's going on. So that's our big news. Okay, everybody, have an incredible, safe, and wonderful weekend. I love and appreciate you all very much, and I'm looking forward to, yes, thank you. Thanks for the love, everyone. I'm looking forward to seeing you next week. Remember, we'll come live to you Wednesday at the grocery store. It's a vegetarian, complete vegetarian. I've tried to make each of the Zoodle menus, one vegetarian, one non, a little meat, little not. But this one, actually, if you don't use the chicken, it's actually beautiful without having the chicken in it either. And if you don't have the chicken, you really only need 2 minutes with the vegetables that are in here for the Instapot. So have a wonderful weekend. Love to you all, and I'll see you next week.